Laverna, your son has successfully made the transition from student athlete to professional athlete. Well, one of them, right? And
Mhm.
looking back, what role did character, work ethic, and consistency play in helping him earn opportunities and ultimately reach the professional level?
Honestly, the character part that starts at home. Just think about it. How many young men do you meet now? Put a handle on it. Yes, sir. Yes, coach. Yes, ma'am. My kids always done that from when they were little at home. And if you ask them today, they'll tell you that that took them so many places, including like even like getting their first jobs and stuff like that. When you do that, because that's not normal, it's not. It should be normal, but it's not normal. They stand down and people remember them. Um, so character starts at home, you know, with the daily morals and values and the training as and as such. As far as his worth ethic, Tyrone, he was one that had a amazing work ethic. Um, he would get up in the middle. This is middle school to high school. We have a hill over by our Walmart. He'd get up at 5:30 in the morning and run those hills. And I always said my kids had to be a student athlete. So as soon as he get anything, they'd be on like a progress report, never on their actual report card. But they know they better not bring nothing home, you know, lower than a B, because their work ethic on that football field better match what's going on in the classroom. And they have appreciated that because your smarts, you have to be able to learn a playbook. And when they went into any college, they always made sure they lowered their position, but then they learned everybody else. But that again starts with the academics and being book smart, not going to
Mm,
college, letting people write your papers and things that you are a student athlete. You don't need nobody to help you do nothing. You do it on your own.
mhm.
You earn everything that you get. So that, and then as far as consistency, having goals. He always had goals. Our township wasn't the best as football. Me and my husband, we came from a 5-star football school, and our goal was to move them back there after after we had our starter home. But Tyrone wanted to stay in Decatur Township, and I was like, for what you want to do in life, this is not it. And he said, I want to put Decatur on the map, and he was willing to work for it. And he did that. And he was after 4 years of just a lot going on, he was Gatorade Player of the Year out of Decatur Township, which was not a
Awesome.
football school. So he
Get
was
it.
willing to put in the work. So he had the mindset at a young age.
Mhm. So, you've had the opportunity to see the journey through college and the pros. Um, we spend a lot of time, I'm sorry, we spend a lot of time preparing athletes for college, but
Mhm.
eventually they transition from being student athletes to full-time professionals. Beyond football skills, what qualities, habits, or experiences help prepare your son for that transition?
Well, like Big Dave said, you know, your plan don't always go exactly how you plan it. So you got
Hmm.
to continually be positive and look for the positive in every situation. And now that he's made it, of course, I can look back and understand why he had to go through what he went through, because God don't put you in a position or a place where he can't keep you. So he had to learn those skills to keep him in the big spotlight, the Big Apple, New York. So whether it's good news or bad news, is all in the spotlight, New York City. So looking back, I see that why God had to build his character. He had to take him through some things, because again, he's not a God that's going to put you somewhere and let you fail. He's going to put you there, and you're going to be able to sustain yourself because you have climbed that mountain. You didn't just slide up; you had to climb up. So
Mm-hmm.
those struggles was necessary. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah.
I get it. You know, how important has character, community involvement, and giving back been throughout your son's journey? Because, they're
Well,
evaluated not only through their performance on the field,
mhm.
but also by how they represent themselves in their families, their organizations, and their communities. So, Tell us how important that is.
That's very important. That's part of the combine. And specifically for New York City, they told us that they are really big as far as um, mental toughness in their character, because again, in New York City, everything is just amplified. You know, it's always lights and cameras there, good news and bad news, and you got to be mentally tough.
Mhm.
Growing up, again, it started at home. My saying has always been, you can't beat God given. And the kids didn't have money to give when they were younger, but they had their talents. So everybody on our street, all the elderlies, when it snowed, they had to go out there and shovel their snow. And they continue
Mhm.
that. Even T in New York, in New Jersey, his fiance took a picture. He was out shoveling his neighbor's yard because they. And I was like, and I just thought that was awesome. You know,
Right.
y'all get a
Yeah.
lot more snow than we do here. Y'all
Yeah,
get,
it's true.
but but to know that even that, you know, still carries on. And we also in December, we always went to a nursing home and sang carols and gave out stuff. So, and then like I said, it carries on. He's been trying for 2 years to have a free football camp. And it's come to pass. He's going to have it June 27th. So I'm super
Oh,
excited about that.
okay. Well, make sure
Mhm.
you share that with us and we'll share it accordingly. June 27th.
Yep. Here it is
Okay,
on his
awesome.
old school. So yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Mhm.
So, thank you, Laverna. So we've gone through everyone's questions, and before we move into audience questions, we'd like to do a quick pulse check. Based on what you've heard so far tonight, please, everybody, take a moment to answer the poll on your screen. The question is, how prepared do you feel to navigate your family, student, athlete journey after hearing tonight's discussion? One, not so prepared, and five, very, 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 very prepared. Thank you for participating. Let's see the results. Okay.
Wow. It's wonderful to see so many parents finding value in tonight's discussion. Thank you to our panelists for sharing their experiences, perspectives, and lessons learned throughout the football journey. We've been collecting questions throughout the evening through the Q&A feature, and we're now going to spend the next several minutes addressing as many of those questions as possible. The questions we've received reflect exactly why we created this series. Parents looking for guidance, perspective, and practical insight from those who have walked this path before. Let's jump into our audience questions.
Well, we have one. Should college players with NIL deals collaborate with wealth advisors in an effort to protect, save, and grow money received from deals of this nature? I guess that can go to Dave and Laverna.
Could you ask the question one more time just to make sure I heard it correctly?
So, brother, you have it.
Can you hear me?
All right, should college players with NIL deals collaborate with wealth advisors in an effort to protect, save, and grow money received from deals of this nature?
Yes, of course. You know, a lot of the families that are getting this type of money has never had this type of money before. And I'm sorry, I'm just a parent gonna keep it 100 with you. Yes, yes. I would love for when we sign a kid, we don't just sign them to an NIL deal. We make sure lawyers there to represent all the terms in that contract. We make sure the financial advisor is there to make sure they know what to do with this money, because we don't want to just receive all this money and don't have no idea to do what to do with it. Yes, of course. For me, yes.
I was going to add that a lot of times people forget about the tax part of that. And
Always.
because there are contract
Yes.
employees, and the dollar amount is, well, depending on how big your NIL is, but it puts you in a different bracket. And sometimes, depending on the city or the state that they're in, it could be 40, 50%. And there's things that you can put in place so that your child does not have to pay all that taxes, like start an LLC, things of that nature. So those things you can be educated from your financial advisor. And if they're not giving you that information, you heard it here, then that's not a good financial advisor.
That's not a good.
They should be telling you ways that your sons can keep from paying so much taxes. Because they don't have kids, they don't have anything to write off. So you got to do some extra stuff to be able to keep more money.
That's a great goal. All right. I don't see any other questions in our Q&A. We'll give you a couple of seconds. Oh, actually, there is one. How did your athlete navigate the process of obtaining NIL deals? And I guess that could be Laverna or Dave.
You go ahead, Laverna.
Well, as I mentioned before, my son, I have 4 boys, and my oldest son is Charlie Hustle. He's their manager. So they had some, one-on-one, some direct, specialized support in finding that. It kind of depends on where your athlete is. Like, if they're like a star player, then they can get NIL deals and things, NIL deals from different advertisement cards, signing cards, things of that nature. But again, your financial advisor should be able to navigate through that. You should be able to ask that question, and they can give you some leeway. You can also get you a marketing person as well. But this is my personal opinion. You don't have to pay a marketing person. They should only get paid if they get your son a deal.
Yeah, I'm going to be, again, intentional. I'm going to paint this picture for all the parents so that they have an idea how this NIL works, right? So there's 2 types of NILs. There's the NIL endorsement, like what we talk about, like McDonald's or these companies that want to endorse your child. Then there's NIL collective, which is the college. Okay, so what sis just was talking about, meaning like if you can leverage yourself into a deal, right? Those athletes are rare. It's either you're the number 1 player in the country and you could get that type of deal, but the rest of the pack is going to get their money from the collective. So the reason why I'm sharing this is because where your mindset with your child and where you need to be. If you don't really have the number 1 child in the country, then you should be on this side, the collective. Now we know what the endorsement deals are about. So the collective deals, they don't care about you. Oh, got to be careful how to say this. They don't really, it doesn't matter what your name, image, and likeness. The collective side, all they care about, basically, is your son a baller or not? So your where you aim to be with your child is to help your child to be the best football player he can be. To move the NIL needle that really counts for your child, which is the collective side, the college side, is what your son does on the field. So all this notion about I got to get his followings up, I got to get people to see his social media. If your kid is the number 1 player in the country, or that 1% is what I call, then maybe, yes, that's important. But for like my second son, Mateo, the number 1 DN, all that stuff don't matter. What matter is what he does on the field. So your whole focus should be, parents should be on making sure that kid is giving everything, development, making sure he's the best player he can be. That's how and then you got to leverage yourself into an NIL. NIL is not really for every kid, right? So to get the attraction of these schools that want to offer you NIL, it starts on the field. Even from youth to high school football. That's where it starts to move the needle, NIL needle. Hopefully that kind of helps.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So as we are preparing to close, we'd like to ask each of our panelists one final question. We'll start with Lauren. If you could give one piece of advice to a parent currently navigating the football journey, what would it be? Lauren?
I would say this youth sports ever, right? Now that I'm listening to my fellow panelists, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm thinking now is hectic and chaotic, right? Imagine when my boys, oh my God, grow up. So I would say to breathe, right? I think that because they are young, because my boys are young, sometimes I'm guilty of it. I forget that they are young, and I'm very competitive. Like me and my husband are really, really competitive. So like, we always want to win and we always want to do these things. And we make sure that they're in the right spaces and places. I think Big Dave, you mentioned that making sure that they're training with the right people. Like we're really intentional about that, right? But now we just really want to breathe, right? I want to breathe. I want to ensure that they are having fun. I do not want to, again, put so much pressure on them. We give them a lot of pressure. I'm not saying that, it's willy-nilly over here in this household, but we do want to make sure that once they step on the field or the court or the track, whatever it is, that they're giving their all no matter what. So we apply that amount of pressure, but mental health is real, right? And we don't want to discourage them from not liking sports or not ever wanting to play football again. So I really try to be intentional about just taking a step back, breathing, tell my husband all the time, if we have a bad game, if we have a bad whatever, let's not talk to them right away in the car, right? Let's just have them take a moment, take a moment, because then we just don't want to discourage them from life. Um, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes. Andrea?
Uh, what I'll say is get a good trainer. Start there. Train
Mhm.
early. Jerron had his trainer in sixth grade. He's now about to be a senior. Shout out to Margin Hooks and his branding person, Steven Salas. Get your people. Find your people that want to see your kids grow and excel. And you have to start that early. All of the camps and all that stuff is good. It's fun. And like Big Dave said, going to these camps, you gotta be explosive. You have to have that. And if you don't have it, again, like I seen on Instagram the other day, your kid is gonna be a t-shirt at a camp. If you're not that, don't even waste your time going there. Get your kid a trainer, get somebody that's gonna brand them properly, and be intentional about your kid. But that's the one thing, the biggest thing for me is trainer and staying consistent, putting your kid in the right direction around the right people, because again, you never know where your opportunity is going to come from or when. It can come at any time.
So true. And you only get one time to make a first impression.
One and
Dave. I'm sorry.
one.
Yes.
One time. That's it.
Big Dave.
Man, I'm just enjoying their answers. You know, um, just very proud and honored to be here to sitting with you guys. And I mean, if there is it's just because I've been through so much with my kids, right? Ups and downs. I've been to a situation when kids want to ask me, you want to be a quarterback. I always answer with, "Are you sure you want to be one?" Because there's a point where, like my son, he couldn't go to a Jack in the Box and get some food because he was so hated at Florida State. They wanted to spit in his food. He, they were they attempted to blow up his house. They were attempting to kill. You know what I mean? Like what I'm sharing is some real stuff, right? Like, and I want people to understand. If there is a message I want everyone to know is to just trust in God in the process of your child. I promise you, everything will work out to His favor. I wanted to go and do some crazy things for my kids, but at the end of that, I just believed in the promises of the Lord, and that's my thing is, and don't allow the certain statuses of how crazy it can get to where you go away from what you know is true. God has a plan for every kid. Everyone's process is different. Everyone's ending process is different. Not every kid gonna go to NFL. Not every
That's
kid's
right.
gonna going to be a football player. But at the end of the day, one of the moms said it best. We just want our kids to be the best human being they could be, and just enjoy the process with your kids. Promise you, when they went to college, when Mattel went to college, I cried because I don't have none of my boys no more. They're gone. So that's what parents need to understand. Understand when they leave high school to college, it's done. They're gone from you.
Absolutely. Thank you
So
so
kiss
much.
your kids. What's her name, Lauren? Kiss your kids as much as you can. Because I
Please.
try to kiss my boys, they'll punch me in the face now, but
Oh
it's
no.
okay.
That is so funny. Thanks, Big Dave. All right, Laverna,
You're welcome.
bring us home.
Well, one thing I would like to leave on everybody's heart is to enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. Tomorrow is not promised to us. Yes, we got big dreams, and you should have big dreams, but what about the short-term dreams as well? Enjoy the moment. And like Dave has said too, whatever we plan out 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go exactly that way. So enjoy the moment. And just like Dave, my second son, Kenny, that's the train. He's also a personal trainer too. So shout out to KT Training in Ohio. But God said no. He had kept having injury. He tore his ACL, the same leg twice, his senior year. So make sure also, I want to remind you all about mental health as well. Injuries are a big deal in football. So make sure that your kid is well, not because you FaceTime them, their character and their mood. Pay attention to all that because it's very real. And lastly, again, slow down and enjoy the moment. What God has for your child is for your child. And let me throw in here too about trainers. It may be a mom on here or a parent on here that cannot afford a personal trainer. We couldn't. But with YouTube and all the internet things, if your child really still wants to be that number one football, they can. It has so much information on YouTube, the internet. You can, whatever that position is, he can do it himself. Just like I told you, Tyrone used to get up 5:30 in the morning, train himself. So you can. If you can't afford a trainer, that's not the end of the world.
Nice.
Well,
Perfect.
thank you. Thank you to our incredible panelists for sharing your experiences and wisdom with us tonight. I loved it. And thank you to everyone who joined us and contributed questions. We hope tonight's conversation provided insight, encouragement, and practical guidance for your family's journey. And as mentioned, this is the first conversation in our Parent Playbook series, and we look forward to continuing these discussions with you with future workshops. But before you leave tonight, we'd appreciate your participation in just one more final poll to help us identify topics for future workshops. Your feedback will help shape future playbook conversations and ensure we're providing resources that meet the needs of sports families. So let's see the future two topics pull up. Question is, what topic would you most like to see covered in a future Parent Playbook Series workshop? You can select all that apply. And while you're doing that, look, just guys, just on behalf of Two Sports Moms and Sabratha, you can speak, but I just want to say thank you for spending your evening with us, especially since tonight is the NBA Finals first night. So thank you. So please stay connected with Two Sports Moms through our website, newsletter, and social media channels.
Yeah.
And remember, you don't have to navigate this journey alone.
No, thank you so much. Join us next time for our Parent Playbook series, but we're going to go with good wishes and so much respect for all of you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.